Hi, this is Dustin with Dustin's Dollars. Today is going to be a quick video about Knightscope, something that I noticed when I was looking into the details of some of their uh, press releases and the robots, and I think we might be able to get a clue into how many robots they have deployed. Before I begin, let me remind you that I am not a financial advisor or a financial professional of any sort. All opinions that I express in this video are mine and do not represent those of any company or any other individual. I currently hold a long position in Knightscope, so this video should be for your entertainment purposes only. Because I could be wrong about everything I say in this video, you need to do your own research before making any investment decisions. So, what did I notice? Knightscope puts out these press releases when they make sales and when they do deployments, amongst other things. What I noticed is if you look in the details, blow this image up. If we get a photo of these robots at just the right angle, and maybe this is a bit hard to see through the video. Sorry, I can't really blow it up any more than this. Some of the other ones will be more legible, but there is a numbering. There's a number on each robot, and I think these numbers are unique to each robot. And this is my guess. I have, again, this is me speculating. I have no confirmation of this from the company, but it seems to semi-track with reality that these numbers probably started at robot number 1 and have gone up from there. This one right here, it says number 83. It might be a little bit hard to come through in the video, and like I said, I'm not sure if I can blow it. Well, maybe I can blow it up a little bit here. Hopefully you can see that a little better. Number 83. And I'm going to go through a couple other examples where we've seen these numbers. Here is another one that was, I don't know, recent. Let's see, March 16th. So not super recent, because you don't get to see this in every photo, right? It's only if you get the right angle of the robot. Because this one, hopefully pretty clearly it says 65. And then we have another here. This is one of the more recent ones. This is the one at I actually just tweeted about today at Santa Clara Towers. And this one, well, it's not here. I opened up the wrong tab. That's my bad. But you can see on their Twitter today, they do have a nice photo of it with the robot, and it says number 23. So you have another inkling here of this photo right here, and you can get that number 23. You can see that number very clearly here. And so in over time, I've looked at some of these. I went back and looked. I'm not going to pull them all up today. It would take quite a while. But you can see some of the earlier ones have numbers that are in the 50s, 60s. And then, we didn't originally see numbers up in the 80s, but then we did see this one that was up in the 80s. This one that was 83. And the more interesting thing is their most recent deployments, the most recent 2 that I could find. We had this one here that was just announced yesterday, just actually deployed. This one very clearly has a number 98. And then you look at this other one that was also very recent in California, I believe it was. And you see this one has a 99. So this implies to me that Knightscope, if what I am inferring is true, the Knightscope has about 99 robots deployed right now. And that's pretty exciting. And that tracks with the numbers that they've stated, right? They stated in January, near the end of January, that they hit the 90 machines deployed mark. I think there was a recent podcast or YouTube video, something where Bill Lee was talking, and he said they have about 100 deployed. And so this is, I think, pretty clear that they have about 100 deployed if this is number 99. And a couple questions that I had here that I tried to answer for myself from the information they have available is, are these numbers just for the K5s, or do they also have these other robots? And we don't have nearly as many photos of the other robots, but I did find this photo here that they shared from their distribution center. You can can zoom in here all the way back there. We can see there's a K1 sitting over here with its faceplate slightly off, not quite mounted yet. We can see the number 77 here. So that leads me to believe that 2 things. That number 1, yes, the K1s do have numbers on them, right? Because we see the number here, the number 77. And the second thing that I infer from this is that the numbering scheme sort of applies across robots. And what I mean by that is K5s don't have a separate numbering from K1s. At least that's my inference here, because I would be very, very surprised if there were 77 K1s deployed, right? You look at all of their sales and all of their announcements, and even what the company says, it is mostly K5s that they sell and that they deploy. Hi, somebody on the chat. We'll get to you in just a second because I'm almost through what I want to talk to you for the video. So let me get to it. Couple caveats with what I said here today is that, you know, this is not confirmed by the company. This is just what I've sort of inferred, and hopefully that's already been pretty clear from what I said. And so because of that, it's not perfect, right? We do see there could be holes in the numbering. You know, that maybe some of these numbers get assigned to R&D robots. I have no idea. So maybe it's not very credible even from that aspect. But as I said, it does sort of seem to track with reality, especially when we see number 98 and 99 recently. And we do actually see, as I mentioned or alluded to, we do see like this was a more recent deployment, I think. The Santa Clara Towers has like number 23. And I think my guess on why we would see that is that we are seeing some of the earlier robots that were canceled actually get redeployed, as they've stated that they're going to. And just also out of curiosity, are some numbers used up for the Robot Roadshow? I think the answer is no. If you look at this, you can actually see that they have RR5, I assume, for Robot Roadshow 5. And then let's see if we can see the other one in this screenshot. Yeah, we see RR3, Robot Roadshow 3 for the K3. All right, so that is all that I had to go through today. I told you it would be fairly quick for me at least. All right, so getting to the live chat. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Ram Kishore says, "What do you think? Why the stock price is dropping?" I mean, personally, I've talked about this a little bit in the past. I think it's a combination of a couple things. I think, one is just that it's very, very illiquid, and I'll reiterate this. I actually didn't. I was busy today at work. Didn't actually check the stock too much. Let's see. Pull this up on Yahoo Finance, but I see this frequently where it's so thinly traded, right? There was a total, let me blow this up so we can look at it. There were 365,000 shares traded today, which is pretty low volume. And then there's even periods of time where there's nothing. And if you look at you open up the order book, I've done that a couple times, and you look and see the spread. If you want to buy 1,000 shares, you're going to raise the stock price like 20 cents because there's so few orders sitting out there. And so I think part of this is just there's very few people are trading it, right? Like you look at it every day and you think, the stock price is dropping and dropping and dropping, but really there's not that many shares changing hands. That I think is one aspect of it. I think there's a lot of people who are just sitting on their shares. And other than people who are sitting on their shares, there's not a lot of, it's just sort of a slow trickle of information so far. There haven't been any major announcements that caused, a lot of hype and a lot of people to jump in the stock. The second thing is, and I've said this before, I think that Knightscope, if you take their $10 listing price and you zoom out back to, it won't actually show me on this chart, but if you look at some other comparable stocks as to where they were in November when the direct listing price was priced at $10, and you look at where they are today, there's quite a few stocks that have done a 50% drop, 60% drop, 70% drop, and I think Knightscope is really just lumped in with those, right? The whole market in terms of companies that are not currently making profits got punished by the market, because companies that have their profits well into the future, and that were more speculative, they got punished because of the interest rates, right? The interest rates go up, your risk-free rate goes up. Therefore, when you do your valuation for your companies, they're going to make most of your profits in the future. Valuation goes down, and that's been applied across the board. I pulled up a couple companies before, and I know you can love or hate some of these companies, but these are companies that are very similar to Knightscope in the sense where most of their profits are going to come in the future. And this is, Virgin Galactic, because I think this is another one where there's probably more retail participation, maybe than some others. And you look at the 1-year chart and you price it out from, they've had their own issues going on, but you price it out from, November over here, they were at $19 and now they're at $6. What's some others that I had some others that I pulled up before, and obviously every company is different, but even just the trend for the NASDAQ, right, from from November to now. And again, this is just my interpretation of events, not necessarily the end all be all. Right? Who knows why stocks really change in the short term? It's hard to tell sometimes, because it's such a complex system in terms of what are things trading at. There's so many market participants, but even the Nasdaq, right? This is probably, you already know this, but it's down by roughly 25%. There's some big tech stocks, like Amazon, etc., that are down a good chunk since November. And this is where Knightscope was priced at that $10 listing price, and now we're trading over here. And so the trend is clearly things have taken a haircut because of the interest rates. So that's my best explanation. That's what I think, right? And again, let me call it out here, not a financial professional, and I think the ability of any one person to really understand and explain the movement of stock prices is, it's hard. It's very hard to do, right? You can tell yourself, you can come up with an explanation for why something happens, and it might make sense to you, and it might be completely wrong. The market is just like that. It's hard. So hopefully that answered your question. That's my best answer I got for you. So let's see. Any other messages on there? I don't see anything. And it's a bit late for me, so I'm gonna hop off. Thank you for the question. Thank you for joining. That is, I think if there's an implied question there of like, is it going to go up in the future? And obviously nobody knows, but I view it as a positive. We're seeing a trickle of sales, and what it feels like a trickle because it's one robot here, one robot there, but these are substantial. If you think about it, yeah, absolutely. He said, Ram says, great explanation. I'm long on Knightscope. Thanks for your analysis. Absolutely. You're totally welcome. And again, please make your own decisions, do your own research. I'm just trying to, put out my research and my opinions here. I'm not a financial professional. But, I've covered this in past. I think there are upcoming catalysts that the company can deliver, not the least of which is if they get the FedRAMP certification, they start making sales to the federal government. That could be huge. I think, they have a lot of clients that have the potential for them, if the client likes them, to expand to multiple locations, and that could be a huge catalyst for the company in terms of growth. And then, as I was, I don't think I finished my statement. If you just look at it from the perspective of they're making 1 or 2 new sales every week, it seems, when they have like 100 robots deployed, every new sale is a 1% increase in revenue. Granted, you do have to look at what's the retention rate, and I know in the past that's been bad, but that was also around the time of COVID, not exclusively. And so there's a question mark there. The company has not been particularly transparent. That's, I think, one of the biggest risks with the company is I don't feel like I have a full understanding of their, why did some of their customers cancel and how many of the customers did cancel. But on the flip side, you do see clients, and they're very, they have been public about calling some of these out, where clients that are very satisfied with the service, right, and have renewed for years and years and years, right? They had 4 or 5 year renewals. For some clients, they had, the police department in Huntington Park that, had a nice little speech about what the robots can do and how the robots can actually do things that their officers can't, and that it provides a very useful service. So I mean that convinces me that there is value there, and so it does make me wonder why some of those companies did cancel. But anyways, that's my 2-minute ramble on sort of the basis of the thesis. Maybe someday I'll get around to making a sort of concise video that has my current positive thesis for Knightscope over time. Anyways, all right, I am gonna hop off now. Thank you very much, Ram, if you're still here, for watching and for tuning in and for chatting. For anybody else, I do these videos usually live in the evening, and sometimes spilling over into the next morning, Eastern US time, usually 9, 10, 11 p.m. Today was actually at midnight in Eastern USA time. But I'm always happy to have folks hop on and chat. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.